Hi and welcome. My name is Matt Gleed and this Matrix Fitness question and answer session. And we're today going to be talking to Jon. Jon, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Jon Eade and I am the Managing Director of Hatton Boxing.
Fantastic. Now, Jon, there's a partnership between Matrix Fitness and Hatton Boxing, which has been going on for a number of years now. Can you tell us a little bit more about Hatton's Boxing then?
Yeah, so our core offering is we're a training provider and we offer multi-level boxing for fitness courses for personal trainers, group exercise instructors, boxing coaches, people who want to be involved in working within fitness or we have a passion for boxing. And from there, we also offer for partners the opportunity to deliver Hatton Boxing sessions in club, whether that's group exercise or personal training.
Fantastic. So within your training providing setup then, how do you train your trainers at the moment?
Well, at the moment, we've actually moved to the digital, the online space. The normal process is via live training courses, which we've been running now for 9 years. But interestingly, 3 months prior to COVID, we actually built our online training offering, and that's escalated fairly quickly due to the current situations, and with some really positive results. So a lot of it at the moment is delivered. All of it at the moment is delivered via our online platform. So we offer our fundamentals and our advanced course, both delivered digitally online, still with the interaction from the master trainers, still asking people to submit their assessments in the normal way, so we can see the quality control of what our trainers are going out to deliver. But yeah, rather than the normal route, which is the live course, we're now in this magical digital online world.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite a change, isn't it, for a lot of people? But maybe, Jon, you can tell us a little bit more about the sort of things that somebody would learn on one of your training courses.
Yeah, so the idea of the course is to give personal trainers and group exercise instructors the ability to use boxing specific techniques, but use those and how to fuse those with functional exercises, so that we can take the correct techniques that are used within the sport, and then give someone a workout, like I said, whether it's one-to-one or in a group setting, that's using boxing technique, using functional squats, lunges, things like that. So catering for all levels of ability. So we have all different types of people that do the course, but we also have all different types of people that take part in Hatton Boxing sessions. So what's really important for us is making sure that boxing is inclusive for everyone, on the gym floor. But boxing's a strange one within the sport, where people tend to think sometimes, because you see it on the TV and you potentially see the brutality of boxing as a sport, that it can't be done by everybody. But in terms of a tool for fitness, it's a great way to get fit. We always say to people, it's like learning a skill. You're learning a skill, which is fun, like a hobby, but at the same time, you're improving your fitness. If someone's deconditioned, they can still throw punches, whether it's on the pads, whether it's on a bag, or whether it's just shadow boxing. Low impact, high intensity. So what we do on the course is we give them the techniques. So we can tell them how they should be done properly, how they're done safely, how they catch the punches. I think what sets us apart from other training providers is we spend a long time on the importance of the focus pads, holding the pads, making sure that risk of injury, a lot of injury that comes through boxing classes is normally done by people forgetting the fact that someone's standing there holding pads while someone's punching them. So the importance of pad holding, how that affects the intensity of the workout, how as a personal trainer you can make yourself sort of indispensable. If you're good and you've got good technique holding the pads and building combinations, then your personal training clients will want to keep paying you the money. because they need you for that session. It isn't the same shadow boxing. It isn't the same hitting the bag. So we spent a long time on the course giving them those skills, but we also spend a long time on programming. So the important part that within the industry, as you will know, is we don't want people to go away from the course and think, well, I've got all these new skills and all these new tools, but how do I apply it? So what do I do? If I want to put, some leg exercises in there, or, I want to work on the core, how do I do that? And we give them all the tools. So we take them through our training system. So the training system shows them, we've got the technique, this is how you apply it. And then these are hundreds of different ideas of how you can build your own session to go away. Like I said, group exercise, small group, large group training, personal training. It's all relative to what they learn in the course. So, we say that just by attending the first day of our training course, you'll go away with over 200 rounds and ideas in what those rounds are that you can just go and deliver straight away. So taking that thought process of the programming away to help them go and actually learn their trade when they go back and using boxing for fitness, which, we think is as important as the technique element, the programming side of it. And then as we move through our levels, so we move into our second part, which is our advanced course, we give them more tools now to add to that toolbox that they've already got. So we learn more advanced techniques, so that how to throw the hook punch, how to catch the hook punch, defensive techniques, so how we can do the duck and the weave, and how we can slip punches. And then also talk about why that's important, again, in a fitness aspect. So someone might think, oh, we're going to slip the jab or slip the cross. It sounds quite boxing specific or quite technical. The reality is there's so many benefits from a workout and intensity point of view by using more muscle groups. A duck and a weave effectively is a squat. So rather than me put into my workout lots of squats, once we move into the advanced and I move putting the duck and the weave, I can get my clients to do squats and they're actually still having fun because they're part of building a combination. So the course is really about fusing those together, boxing techniques plus the fitness aspect. How do they put them together so that they can go away and deliver some really safe, important, but effective boxing sessions?
Yeah, I think a couple of your points there are fantastic. And I think if we could highlight a few of them, I see so many people as the gyms I go around, and you see people doing partner work where somebody's holding the gloves and somebody holding the pads. And you just see the person holding the pads is almost doing more of a workout than the person, actually punching. And it's really almost a way of learning how to facilitate partner drills or how to facilitate somebody to actually improve, rather than just to put energy into something which isn't actually going to improve the skill, the fun, or make it even durable. Because you can't be a personal trainer who's going to go and do a 10-hour day and you're going to just receive all of those hands, being thrown at you all the time without picking up some injury. So you just need to be mindful about how to gauge your own intensity as well. And I think it's great that you've got a multi-stage education program where people are actually going to develop skills. And once they've done that level one, I'm sure you have a huge return rate of people coming back and doing further education as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I think when I was delivering a lot of the training courses myself in the earlier days, and I would be traveling around and, as you do, staying in a hotel or as a gym nearby, I used to have a look to see if there was a boxing class to take part. And if I'm honest, I was amazed a lot of the time on how much pad holding gets forgotten. So, we'll all stand in front of the mirror and the trainer will, first of all, get us warming up by running up and down, jogging on the spot, doing star jumps, never any boxing, which I always found amazing. So it's like we're going to do an indoor cycling class today and we're going to warm up on the rower. It's the same thing for me. I don't understand. And then we would move in and he'd tell us about all the punches we're going to throw and how much power we can generate by using the hips. And then, right, now let's all go and put a pair of pads on. You all stand there and we're going to try and throw the punches. And the reality is, it's actually impossible to do. If we don't understand the principles of pad holding and what our role is, then we can't actually get the boxer to improve. You know, I use the analogy when I teach the course. So I say, right, we've got Ricky Hatton, 4-time world champion. He knows what he's doing. I've never held the pads before. He walks in and says, I need to do a workout, John. Stick these pads on and we'll just do 3 rounds. That's not possible. He's going to be chasing me all over. My shoulders are going to be blasted out. My elbows are going to be in bits. He's not going to get a workout from it because I'm not going to catch the punches where he needs me to catch them. I'm not going to apply the right amount of resistance that he needs me to. But you flip it on its head and say, I'm a proficient pad holder. Someone walks up to me who's never done any boxing before, then it's totally different. I can take that person through a safe and effective workout. So getting people to understand the basics and the importance of things like pad holding sets everyone up to then go and deliver it. Like I said, if you've got a group of people in your class, they also need to understand, if you're swapping partners, if you're at home currently and you're working out and you've got your wife and you say, right, we're going to do a pad session, you ask her to put the pads on or vice versa. You've both got to have an understanding of how to hold the pads properly, because the main reason people don't go back to a boxing fitness class is because they didn't feel like they were in control or they didn't feel safe when they were holding the pads. Everyone likes punching something. Everyone walks past the boxing bag and wants to hit it. Everyone gets the pads and wants to punch the pads. But the pad holding side is really important. And then this is part of now with the online is when we're finishing with people, really getting that message across. If you're doing this at home, then make sure that you look at the key points of not just the stance and the guard, the basics of boxing, the pad holding side of it. That's the only way you'll get the intensity of the workout. So yeah, you're absolutely.
It's quite structural as well, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people who shadow boxing will teach you how to move. The pad will actually teach you how to actually adapt. But then you need both of those before you to then go onto a bag, because if you haven't got the good, safe technique and you can't move well, when you go onto a pad and you're hitting something with so much weight behind it, the risk of injury is only escalated as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, a common theme within the gym. You know, they hang a bag, and it's normally the guys. You know, they go up to it, and the bag's swinging all over the place. And they're just punching, you know, with absolutely no direction. And it isn't any different than going on and lifting the weights without any idea of what you're trying to do. You know, you can pick a kettlebell up and you can swing it around your head and you can throw it between arm to arm. It's not doing anything for you. You need to do the technique properly to get results. The same thing with the bag. You know, if you learn the fundamentals first and the basics of it, you can stand in front of a bag, and then you can get an effective workout, a time-effective workout. It's tough, you'll know. You'll have hit a bag, you'll have hit pads. It's a tough workout, but absolutely, it's having those fundamentals, working through them, and that's what we do. You know, every single person that comes to us, whether, you know, we've had world champions, we've had proficient boxers that have been and done the course, and we commonly get asked to do. Sorry, you know, you said before about my emails, well, they've just kicked up, Matt, so I have to apologise for that. We've had these people on the course of a certain level, and we get asked all the time, I've done this, so can I start at this level? I've done this, can I start at that level? And the simple answer is no. Everybody has to start the fundamentals, because it doesn't matter what your level of ability is. What matters is your ability to be able to break those techniques back down to the basics for someone who's never done it before. So you might be excellent at throwing a jab. Your footwork might be great. Your hip rotation might be perfect. But if I'm stood in front of you and I can't coordinate my arms and my legs together, how are you going to get me to that level? You have to understand the fundamentals. You have to understand the basics. So there's so much value. And I say to people, if they ask me that question, you will learn more from the fundamentals and the basics that we teach you than you will as you move through the rest of the course. If you don't get the first part right, you will never get to maybe some of the advanced and the elite things that would. The only reason why we've created that is because we've got people that have got good basics, good foundations.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's a progressive, because I mean, ultimately, this is a sport. It might be a hobby for some, but if you can't get people to feel like there is progression in what they're doing, people lose interest quite quickly. People like a pathway in front of them where they can develop as well. And So when you find that you're doing this, how's it working at the moment in terms of you delivering these pathways and this content?
Yeah, so like I said before, we looked at moving into the digital space, and I'll be completely honest, there was no one more skeptical about delivering training online than I was about this course. We've had this course, like I said, for 9 years, always been live. And I was originally like, how are you going to deliver training online? That was the first question. So we started to put together the training course online, the videos, the content, and really look into the structure of it. And the question always was, when we get to the end of this, are we going to be confident that we've maintained the standard that we would from a live day? If we are not 100% there, we will definitely not do this, because we are not compromising the reputation that we've already got for a boxing course by rushing into this digital world. By the way, at this time, we didn't know anything about COVID-19. We just thought it was an opportunity to look at digital, as other companies have. Very quickly, I was convinced that this was going to be a really, really valuable and strong offering. And yes, always there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to live training, and there's pros and cons to digital online training. But when we think about the learner journey for the course, we think about our average group size in, let's say, London, for instance, is between 25 and 30 people. You know, there's a good ratio of master trainer to student in there, but still, it's a good number of people. If someone particularly wants to ask a question, they might sometimes feel a little bit silly to do so. They might not want to put a hand up in front of the group. They might not want to ask the master trainer a question. They might miss something that's been said. They might miss a key point, or someone next to them might have spoke to them at the same time. So when you're doing that online, you've got the ability to rewind that. You've got the ability to rewatch that. You've got the ability to then practice while someone's talking and then watch it back. You can ask as many questions on the platform as you want. They go direct to your personal master trainer that will answer those questions. It's an actual person. So the website doesn't answer the questions for you. The person will reply to that question. So everyone can ask all sorts of weird and wonderful questions, and we can answer them in the forum of just the two of them. The first person, I won't name him, but he's a chap that's now moved out to Spain. He set up his own boxing for fitness brand out in Spain, which is brilliant. He was the first person that did the online course, and I did his assessment. And I emailed him afterwards and said, I think that's the best practical assessment I've seen. And the reason why was because he used all of the terminology that we use, because he'd watched all the videos over and over again. You could hear it in his voice. The techniques that he was using, you could see that he had practiced and had the videos next to him doing it. So as soon as I did that, I was just filled with so much confidence that, you know, the digital and online space for not just boxing, for fitness courses, all sorts of different types of courses, is not just a huge market, but it's a great time efficient opportunity for PTs to be able to not have to travel, and they can learn from the comfort of their own home and adapt to their own learning style. So you'll know, delivering a lot of training courses, everyone has different learning styles that they work with, and once you're dealing with an online platform, you can work with those. It's very simple to start to get to know how people, how their learning style is and how to adapt with that. So, you know, the online training course is a series of videos. There's 27 learning videos. There's theory assessments with multiple choice questions in. There is practical assessments where we ask them to upload videos, and they are personally fed back from their master trainer. So their master trainer will do a video feedback, and then if they have to resubmit or things to work on, and then they will work through that process. So in terms of master trainer one-to-one interaction, you get more one-to-one interaction on an online course than you do on a live course.
Yeah, and I think that's a real testament to not only the system that you've put together, but the quality of the master trainers as well. I've seen it in several areas of the fitness industry where a lot of trainers or educators are people who almost left what they were training others to do because they weren't being as successful as they wanted. They almost wanted the full-time salary to kind of pay off their mortgage and things. And it almost got to the point where they were doing it because it was their job still. It wasn't their dream to kind of maintain quality and to educate people and to develop others. And it sounds like what you guys are putting together is something where people can actually come, follow a journey, and they get feedback so that they can become better. And I'm sure from the way that you've described it, you're going to get that feedback, which is going to be really purposeful, because if there was a live education course, it's hard to give feedback to every single person. But if it's a video submission, if somebody has taken the time to video submit something to me and I've got to mark it to a criteria, there's no gray areas. They wouldn't submit a video if it wasn't, in their view, good enough to pass. And also, I can quite clearly tell people, you haven't hit the criteria here. Go back to the 3rd minute, and when you said this, what you could have said would be this instead. And people can really develop how they deliver this way, can't they?
100% again. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the nail on the head. The level of feedback that I'm very lucky. So the master trainers we've had have been with us right from the start. So they're 8 years into this, and they still have so much passion, which is commendable for them to want to keep continually delivering the same content. And they genuinely get an excitement out of people that have done the course and go away and set up their own business. So, but that comes across in their feedback. And in like you said before, the level of detail that these guys go into, you wouldn't get that necessarily level of detail on a live course. Yes, you're there for a full day or 2 days where they will get plenty of opportunity to see and interact for you to practice. But you've got one person on your screen, even to the down, then their rotation of their hip when they're throwing across might be, they might be 3/4 through the movement. The guys are feeding back to it. If you can just turn that foot a little bit further around, this is invaluable stuff. Experienced people that have got boxing background. You look at it on a video and you can see all these little subtle, these little tiny teaching points that they could do. And it really does give them some in-depth feedback.
And that makes it very authentic, because it's that level of detail that a professional fighter would look at as well. They're going to look at videos of how they're throwing punches and almost defending themselves in a fight. So it's actually being very authentic to the sport as well, because you are mentoring people to be better, but monitoring how their performance is and actually getting them to learn and adapt their style in order to be better, which is the whole purpose of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah, and so interesting. And boxing's a strange sport, and people always like to try and protect it. So, we're delivering boxing for fitness. We never say that we don't train professional fighters during the course to fight. We don't train people to go and corner people to fight. This is a boxing for fitness course. We use correct professional boxing techniques, and we show people how to put them in a fitness workout. But what is really important, what gets missed sometimes with some of the people within boxing, is what we're trying to do is we're trying to get more people involved in the sport. So if you've got a club that's got 2,000 members and you've got a really good boxing class, you've got a Hatton Boxing class on your timetable, it's getting 30 people a session. You've got 3 sessions a week on there. How many of these people are then going to go and actually start, do you know what, I'm going to watch the boxing on TV. I'm going to buy my own gloves. And they're buying their gloves off either us through our network, Hatton Boxing. And the more people that buy gloves off us, the more opportunity it gives us to then invest maybe back into the sport by sponsoring fighters. So it's people sometimes, it's boxing. If you're not getting in the ring and sparring, it's not boxing. Well, you're wrong, because that's a small part of what needs to happen. Nobody likes getting punched in the face. Okay, everyone likes the training element of boxing. Everyone likes hitting a bag or pads. There's nothing wrong with that. If you've got kids coming into your Hatton Boxing sessions, they're going to do pad work. They're going to do fitness drills. They're going to use boxing as a way to get fit. If they then choose to move up through and progress further in the sport, then fantastic. But if they don't want to do that and they try it maybe and it's not for them, or, you know, an adult, you know, things like white collar boxing and things like that, that's got a real taboo around it. And it has, because it's not done in the right way. We're not giving people the base to start with. Do a boxing class, do some pad work with a personal trainer. If you want to then give something else at the next level a try, but you don't like it, you know you can always come back to where you started off, which is fun, and it's a way of getting fit. Not everything has to, you know, we don't pursue every sport that we go in to compete at the highest level all the time. We are allowed to do things that are fun. So, you know, that's really important with, like you said, that crossover around boxing as a sport. As look, our techniques, you know, we've got a 4-time world champion that's been part of the development of it. We're happy with those. But we are also happy with where we sit in the market. We think that the fitness market is something that really does benefit from this hybrid of boxing technique. How do we fuse it with functional exercises?
Yeah. So Jon, to that direction then, can you just talk to us a bit about how you partner with other companies and how you support communities as well? So, you know, if I'm interested in learning more, you know, where could I go to learn more about boxing if people are listening to this and wanting to know that?
Yeah, so the idea of the training course is to educate the PTs and the group exercise instructors that work in club, whether that's, you know, independent operators, multi-site operators, leisure trusts. So they're coming to us to gain the qualification to then go away and deliver that in club. Also, personal trainers that are out there that are wanting to add boxing to their offering. What we've been doing in the current situation is we realised that our partners needed support. So our partners needed support to get Boxing for Fitness still out to their members during this time. So we've created a series of workouts via an online platform where people can go and do shadow boxing, bodyweight boxing, Hatton boxing sessions that they can take part. So that's how we've really gone. We've said to the partners, look, as soon as this happened, look, we're going to support you. You support us during the time when you're sending people on our training course. Now we're going to start to support you by giving you these workouts to add to your platform. So also through the online platform, they can train up themselves to then deliver their own online classes. We did a webinar when all this started for our Hatton Boxing certified instructors. We did a webinar with myself and all of the master trainers were on the webinar for people to ask us questions about how they should teach via using Zoom, how they should do classes, whether it's on their social channel and going live. And, you know, we said, look, this training system that we've given you, it works absolutely fine as a shadow boxing. You take away the pads and the gloves and you can use the shadow boxing for that. If you do have access to pads and gloves, great. You can carry on. You can add that value back to your members or your PT clients by providing them with structured session plans.
Jon, could you give us just to kind of almost finish up, give us a little bit of an insight as to how somebody could start to deliver? So maybe an example session plan, just give us a slight overview of that.
Yeah, so in terms of what an actual session would look like.
Yeah.
So everything, we think about boxing, 3-minute rounds, they have a minute rest, and this is true to the sport. And then they would fight normally from 4, 6, 8, all the way up to 12 rounds. So that gives us our structure of how we're going to plan the session. So if it's a workout at home, shadow boxing and bodyweight, we would say, right, we're going to do 3 12-minute rounds. We are going to do, through the training system, we use pyramid training. We use specific muscle groups. So we target lower body, we target core and abs. Real muscle groups that when you're thinking about boxing and generating power, they're the ones that we really want to look to keep strengthening up. Combinations, and then we have one that we call freestyle cardio. Okay, so an idea is just to really elevate the heart rate. So an example might be, we might do a combination. So we'll use our 3-minute round. We might start with double jab cross. After a minute, we will add on to that combination. So we'll go to double jab cross, uppercut, uppercut. And then for the final minute, we'll add a hook cross on the end. So we're building a combination again for a beginner by using that 3-minute platform. It means they can start nice and easy. We're only adding 2 punches on, and then we'll add a hook cross on the end. They'll then rest for a minute. Next one, we might do lower body. We might look at doing legs, 10 straight punches, 2 squats, back into your boxing stance, still stick to 10 straight punches, so jabs and crosses, step back in. This time we're going to go to 4 squats. So the punches are always staying at 10, and we're going to pyramid the squats by 2 each time. Second minute, we could change the squats to lunges. Final minute, we could change the squats, so the lunges to plyometrics. Let's go for squat jumps. So it's really straightforward and really simple ways in which we just use boxing, functional, and then giving them options on how to count the repetitions for each one. But like I said, we put lots of workouts out online where we've got our master trainers delivering them, all using that structure. So we always go, how long do you want to train for? Okay, we're going to do a 36-minute workout, 12 3-minute rounds. And that's right.
So you're taking the structures and then developing the skills within that structure so people can find rhythms and flow within it. And I guess that's what hooks people in, because they'll then start to recognize that system time and time again. And it means that they can start to improve and start to actually better their skill level in doing that system as well.
Absolutely. So all you need to do, from those 2 basic, let's take the combination to start with, double jab cross, uppercut, uppercut. All I need to do to make that a little bit more advanced is just by changing one of the techniques. So we go double jab cross, and we might go hook cross. So we've changed that combination. We might go double jab cross, duck cross. So again, we're advancing it with a defensive technique. By just changing one small thing, it means that we can change in the rounds, and then people feel like they're learning, feels like you're not doing repetition of the same thing over and over again. And that's the process of the whole structure of the training course, is by giving people more advanced techniques. All we're doing is adding more to the toolbox. The training system, the way that the sessions are structured, don't have to change. We can still use pyramids, dead straightforward one, give it a try, 2 straight punches. So when I say straight, I'm talking about jab and across, 2 straight punches, pause, then do 4, then do 6, then do 8, little pause in between. When you get to 20, start again at 2. Just work on that. Even if you try and work on that for a 3-minute round, it's really, really tough. I can make it
effective,
I can change it by changing it to uppercuts. I can give it a whole new round. I can add a functional exercise. 2 straight punches, 1 push-up. 4 straight punches, still 1 push-up. So by keeping that system that we're there, it makes it really straightforward to add lots of variety to the session. And that's really what we try and push out to our instructors, to say, look, this is the system. It's dead straightforward to create lots and lots of rounds. Here's 200 rounds, and just start thinking. If you just change 1 punch, you change and create a completely new round.
Yeah, well, I think it's a great system, because it's simple, it's easy to follow, but people can get good at it, and it clearly can be very effective in workouts. So, Jon, it's been great having you on and understanding a little bit more about what you guys do at Hatton Boxing, but also just the way that you've adapted in the current climate, and the fact that you already had a system ready to go live is clearly showing that, if people are interested in building up an education and developing more skills, you seem to have all the answers already for all these people as well.
Yeah, maybe a bit of luck in there. Some things don't always, like I said, they come down to luck, but definitely we have stepped back and said how interesting that we built that platform before all this happened. But look, we've always got one eye on the digital space. We know what that's like. We know what the fitness world is like for digital. So we just wanted to make sure that we were one step ahead, and always challenging ourselves. Are we offering the best that we can offer? And I think that this time now that's what we've done during this time. We've done it what everybody else did for the first couple of days: reevaluate, take stock of what's going on. But then we said, right, let's look at how when this is all done and finished, are we going to come out of this in a better position as a training provider, as an equipment provider, as a partner to all of our operators out there, to all of our personal trainers? You know, have we spent the time developing what we already have, even reevaluating what we've already created? This time asks you all sorts of different questions in different scenarios, and you know, if you've got the answers to those, then I think you're in a pretty good spot. And I'd like to think it means we've been on the right track leading up to this point. But yeah, definitely an interesting time, especially for a training provider. If you're not embraced the digital, or you're still like I was when we started it off, saying, "Oh, I don't know how we can deliver our training course online," then you definitely need to think about changing the way that your thought process.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good lesson to learn. And if you pardon the pun, it seems like you're going to be coming out this situation fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. You beat me to
it. Brilliant. Well, Jon, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you joining us and helping share your message and helping people understand a little bit further. So we'll leave you to the rest of your day, and thanks again.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Matt. Take care.